What's up, everyone? This is the Swolverine, the effing machine, Mr. GMSI himself, Brian Cage, the Luchador Destroyer. Who better? The answer to that question is nobody. The multi-move paragon, the all-around best. We can go on and on and on. Well, let's stick to it. You guys are listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
When they're not covering the sports world, they're talking about the world of professional wrestling.
It's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Now, with Justin Simmons, here's Stu Myrick.
Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the horn. Stu Myrick, Justin the Smash Simmons. What's up?
My soccer stock, I guess.
Your soccer stock?
Yeah, I just cut that new video, so.
Yeah, you were showing me a video before we went on the air.
It's caught some fire on social media, 10 likes.
Is this kind of the video? So you still own the throw-in.
I own,
right?
Well, yeah, because I still run. You're
still the throw-in.
Yeah, I still run the social media stuff.
Is this the video evolution of the throw-in?
I've always had that idea with that show, and was always trying to figure out a way to implement that. But I wouldn't say it's like the true successor of the throw-in or anything. It's just like a spin-off. If anything, it has more like comedic, and it's like how Matt Hardy has like the Broken Universe.
Yes,
I didn't mean to do something like that, but it's kind of like I have my own universe.
Are you gonna like splinter off into Damascus and be 3,000 years old?
No, but I have like this ability like to snap my fingers on camera and then like my clothes change.
To people?
Nah, I'm not a big drone person. I believe in before COVID, anyways, face-to-face interaction.
Rest in peace, Vanguard 1. But at least we now have a new soldier in Neo 1. We saw that.
I forget that's its name.
We saw that Saturday night. AEW, Double or Nothing. Your overall thoughts. We were here together in the Sports Guys Talking Wrestling World Headquarters. You, me, Eddie Cross from Fight Night ATX. I know it's just Fight Night. I always say Fight Night ATX.
Well, that's their Twitter.
Fight Night.
Right?
Yeah, that's Twitter. But from Fight Night on the horn, taking in everything that was from Double or Nothing. This was AEW's first pay-per-view since the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
WWE's already had 2 with WrestleMania and Money in the Bank. This was AEW's first crack at it. Overall thoughts?
You want it like on a 5-star scale in most wrestling terms, or do you want it more like on a scale to 10?
Just tell me, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, there were parts. Don't get me wrong, like every wrestling show, it doesn't matter. And very rarely can I ever say that I was thoroughly entertained throughout the entire show, match for match for match. And unfortunately, it's no different with AEW.
Well, you're just a hard ass, but that's okay.
Not even. I was going to say, you told me I had bad takes, so if I have to like some bad jokes, I can't be that hard to please, can I?
I'm kidding.
I actually enjoy it more when you're... I know, I like it when you're more snippy. You got that Gorilla Monsoon thing going on, see?
Will you stop?
There you go. But, I would like to say I give it a hard 8 out of the 10. Like I was more than entertained for the most part throughout some of the matches. Obviously, I have some questions, but if anything, I forget what they call it, but the main event,
the Stadium Stampede.
Yes, that sealed it. But even then, I can still go back and say, there were some things that worked for me in that particular portion of the show. More good than bad,
right?
But it's not like I popped for every single thing they did.
And I'm there with you by 8.5. I was probably a little more entertained by it, but yeah, there were a few flaws. I
noticed that production was still an issue in certain cases, like audio production.
I think there were a couple. There were only a couple moments, and I don't know, because I've noticed it before. There was one point, was this on Saturday, where we heard a JR voice track?
Yes.
On top of something?
Yes, like music was playing, and it sounded like he was talking, but maybe it was just another like video that they were trying to run or something.
It's kind of like sometimes, kind of pull back the curtain on radio. Sometimes we'll hear like during one of the shows, let's just say the triple option with RBKD, and all of a sudden you'll hear Aaron Hogan, talking about Viking fence or something. And that's just because the producer forgets to put something in preview or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were a couple of things like that, but it was overall a fun show. I think it was one of those where the purpose was not necessarily, it was to advance storylines, obviously, but this was also to take your mind off the current ongoing global situation.
Well, I think that's what almost anybody that's doing this.
And I think that's why there weren't, like, I saw somebody complain that not enough heels won. I
agree.
I think there, yeah. I mean, I was surprised in a couple of directions, but I think in another respect, if you had been watching Dynamite leading up to it, it seemed like the heels were winning a lot. So now, why they decided to have it the other way on the pay-per-view, I don't know. Although my guess would be is because, again, we're in this weird time, and it's, you don't have a crowd to send home happy, but you want to send the pay-per-view viewer home happy, I guess.
I suppose, but I mean, the predominant AEW fan is an indie darling fan as it is. And
right. They don't care about heels and faces.
Yeah, they just like the wrestler regardless. So it's like, I really don't think that type of booking idea, like not the type of booking, but the logic going into that style of booking would make any sense for that crowd, and you book to your crowd. So
I understand.
I think you could have had a couple of extra heel wins, especially the Lance Archer win. And I'm not saying that just because we know him. I'm just saying that because they were building him up, and it just seemed like the right moment to make him like the huge star.
Yeah, that was a huge surprise. Cody Rhodes winning the TNT title, defeating Lance Archer. It was a fantastic match. Kudos to both Cody and Lance. And both of them friends of the show. I was surprised at that. I do think there was the slightest bit of overbooking.
How did you feel about the double toss out?
I don't know. I guess I wasn't crazy about it.
I will say I found it...
Only to have Jake come back with the snake, then get chased off by Mike Tyson. A shirtless Mike Tyson.
Oh, are you just jealous because he's 53 and ripped?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm like half your age and half his age, and I don't look ripped like that too. So don't worry, you're not the only one.
And he's about to get back in the ring.
I'm
Boxing
down with
ring, not wrestling ring.
I'm down with that.
I'm down with that too. But anyway, nevertheless, I don't know. It just...
Oh, I was going to tell you, Stu, that I was perplexed by the idea of having the managers be such a big part of this matchup, only to get rid of them halfway through it. That's where I was like, oh, why all the promos? Yeah. You had Arn and Jake sit down and talk. Not even Lance and Cody. It was just those two that were doing promos against each other. Yeah. So why take out two of the stronger performers that the spotlight was on just to kind of get... I mean, I understand you're trying to focus on the match, but the match wasn't clearly the focus necessarily. There was too many things to try to focus on.
That's a good way to put it. Whatever your name is.
Smash.
It's been a long day. It seemed like it was too many distractions. And like you said, it was a fantastic match. Lance did everything we expected and more. A lot of the stuff that we had seen him do his last few months in New Japan, especially during the G1, especially during his U.S. title run. That's the Lance Archer that we have seen, and I'm glad that we're seeing it in AEW now.
We had called a Lance Archer match at Total Championship Wrestling for back.
Oh boy,
yeah,
you and me,
yeah,
that would have been what 2016, 2017
for B.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't remember that?
Oh, I remember.
Okay.
I can't remember who he was wrestling.
B.
Was it?
It had to be the main event. Why else would you bring him in?
I thought maybe it was...
There's no way he would have been on the undercard.
Oh, what was his name? One half of the Heavy Hearts.
Was it Zach?
Zach, yeah.
Zach was good before his knee injury.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he ever got the knee fixed. He was just waiting for it to
Right.
kind of blow out because he was like on his last ligaments there.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, we've called Lance
But the reason I bring
matches.
that up is because from what I saw then, I was like, okay, rather decent big guy. I didn't know what the appeal was, except that he could be terrifying just because he's a huge dude. To where he came to now, night and day. He's probably also healthier after he had the back surgery and got a chance to recover, because he wasn't moving around the way I saw him move on Saturday, where he's just like cat-like quick.
Yeah. I think there's also there's been a little bit extra motivation now that he's gone back to being singles wrestler. Remember, for the longest time, it was him and Davey Boy Smith Jr., Killer Elite Squad.
Yeah.
In fact, people were calling him a tag team wrestler, and they had forgotten that, yeah, he was a singles guy. And now they're seeing him show that skill and that talent that he has as a singles wrestler. And it's great to see. I was surprised that Cody won. I think you and I both picked Lance on that one. But,
Oh, yeah.
but I can also see a little bit why they put the belt on Cody. It does. I don't think it would have been bad either way. I guess personal preference. It would have been more interesting to see what Lance can do with it. But hey, I can also see some good matches with Cody. And
then you bring up one of the most important subjects of the whole match: the physical belt, the appearance of the belt, roasted on Twitter.
It was. Now they did tell us that the
Shivani told us on the air
that
like 5 seconds later that it wasn't finished.
Which I tell you what, that's one of the good things. I will give AEW tons of credit for that. They will react.
Yeah,
they do not ignore like some other companies. Vince, they will react and react quickly. So what we have heard and what reports I've seen is that yes, the belt is unfinished. They wanted to have the belt for Saturday night because that's the match.
Well, yeah,
and I've heard a couple of booking ideas about how they could have gotten around it. Yada yada yada. Look, if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's your opinion. That's fine.
It's the whole gimmick. A championship match is a gimmick match because you need a physical gimmick there.
Right.
Which is, in this case, is the belt, the title,
right.
The physical title.
Right.
So without the title, it wouldn't have had the same visual impact.
And I will be very interested to see, as we record this on Tuesday, Dynamite on Wednesday night, allegedly they will have the completed belt. I'll be very interested to see what it looks like. I hear there's some gold overlay on it and maybe some other things. It may look a little more. I saw a picture, and it dawned on me. It may look a little more like the U.S. tag team titles from back in the Jim Crockett days.
If you can find a picture of that, you might have to tweet it out at SGTW.
I'll see if we can do it. Yeah, I'll see if we can find a picture and do that. After the event, they had the post-event media scrum, and Cody Rhodes was the first one up, and our friend Mike Johnson from POW Insider asked him about what it meant to be the very first TNT champion.
Well, I mean, you talk about TNT and you talk about wrestling and the Turner Family Networks and everything that Ted did, that Dusty, that Bill, that Eric did, and Sting, and just there's this lineage and this heritage. But Tony Schiavone brought up this really good point in our sit-down interview where he named all these really great stats for me, like my 1,000th match by 28. And it was really special stuff, but they were like tenure stats. They were stats that they just didn't – it's not what you shoot for. And to be able to add to my legacy the very first at this, such a just such a damn good feeling. And to come back and have Arn Anderson tell me, now it's your time just started. Your time just started. And after all the time I've spent in, you think like, oh, good. Finally, I'm just really happy. My initial thoughts, this might sound so strange. The story is so uniquely linked from Turner and Dusty and Dustin and Cody. But my initial thoughts when I won were just about my mom. She's just she's the one I have left, and she enjoyed it. So I was happy. When you can please your mom, that's a good thing.
See, that's nice. When you please your mom, that's a good thing. And he's right. So congratulations, Cody. Happy for him. Be interested to see what happens going forward with him as the TNT champion. Let's talk about the Stadium Stampede, because that was excessive and crazy and wacky and wonderful, all rolled into one.
But as much as like the Elite, I really felt that this promotion was going to be built around. It was the Inner Circle who really carried that match for me. Like everything down from the way they entered with the football uniforms and the personalized jerseys to the way that they reacted to a lot of the stuff that happened to them. It was just like those guys really, it's almost mean because I know everybody does their part, but it felt like they carried the bulk of the match because they had the more entertaining aspects of it.
Well, and again, you and I had both picked the Inner Circle to win this. Now, I'm glad the Elite won because I think it's been almost since AEW started, we have not seen the Elite win together.
That's true.
And they've been taking a lot of lumps. So it was nice to finally see them get one, but there were so many moments, and I will say it, and it's not just because he's one of our own and whatever, but I would say Sammy Guevara has to be the MVP of that match for the stuff he did and the stuff he pulled from running away from Hangman Page and the horse to running away from the golf cart again, to getting Northern Light suplex by Matt Jackson for 100 yards.
What we assume is 100 yards.
And then to top it all off, taking the One Wing Angel from Kenny Omega from that game day deck. I assume that's where the Jaguars do like their stadium pregame show. Mm-hmm. Coming down 20 feet. And yes, there was a crash pad. We understand that, but still, to be able to do that.
Well, to take that after taking everything else.
Yeah. Sammy Guevara, I think his stock has risen to a whole new level. Oh, and his stock was high to begin with.
Oh, easily. He's very charismatic. Something we always seen. I will say, I hope they don't rely on the golf cart thing too much.
I don't think they will. I think it was just a callback to that one moment during the tag match a couple weeks ago.
See, I felt that they did that with the horse, and like that was funny. And then the golf cart came back again. And then I was like, "But guys, it's been done." The horse really sold it for me.
The horse was only one time only. That was the first Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're done with those.
Like, I only needed one callback. I didn't need two.
Right. I get you. But
and the
all
Matt
of
Hardy
it,
thing was genius.
Oh my God.
In the pool?
With Santana Ortiz, they dunk him, pull him up, and he was a different version of Matt Hardy, including Matt Hardy version 1, complete with his own Matt fact.
Yep.
That was absolutely wonderful.
But let me ask, does that mean that we didn't necessarily watch it live?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was taped the day before, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to say that's the only way they could do something like that.
Yeah, I believe it was
unless they took a 5-minute break while they were fighting and then just launched the big screen as they rolled the footage in between.
Yeah, I believe they taped it the night before. I think it was the night before. And just so good.
Let me ask you this. Are you happy that this is what wrestling looks like it's going to start turning to? And it's because of the pandemic. I don't think if we had a pandemic, this is a route that they would have gone down. But
you're exactly right.
But the WWE had success with it.
Yes.
And now, obviously, AEW's having success with it.
I don't want to see it every week or even every pay-per-view. But once in a while, absolutely. I'll take a Boneyard match every 4 to 6 months. Any day of the week. Yeah,
but the problem is like a match like that would probably only be reserved for SummerSlam, WrestleMania.
And that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
All in. Yeah, but the problem is like I'm afraid that could someday be, in the near future, the main event. Can you imagine going to a show, granted, we don't know how it's going to look after all this, but if you get to go to a show live in attendance, because I believe at some point you will.
Yeah.
To have the main event of WrestleMania be on the big screen like you're watching a movie.
That if you are in a stadium with 70,000 to 80,000, no, because wrestling fans today will not sit there and watch a match on a big screen.
And the WWE had tried to do something like this prior. Honestly, now that I go back and think about
Yeah,
it, the
the
Funhouse thing, right?
Not even that. Well, it was that, but go all the way back to the backlot brawl.
Too
But
far.
even then, parts of that was at least still in the stadium.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, oh, that would be a little too far back because it's just not the same. But
But,
the Randy Orton thing,
Right,
is
that was-
exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is where people just
Absolutely.
kind of were like, I'm bored. Why are you showing me this? Why
I
isn't there
could've
just
stayed.
a wrestling match?
Yeah, well, I could have stayed at home and watched this. Yeah.
So it's like I like the ideas because they've been executed well, but I'm afraid that they're going to try to rely on that when they have live crowds again, and it won't work.
I think you're right.
Like it'll have to be a made-for-TV special or something.
Yeah. Or they'll have to do it like the backlot brawl, where they do parts of it. You know, you start it live, finish
Yeah.
it live, but the rest of it's pre-taped.
I guess you could do something like that. I mean, it really depends on storyline and such. And
There's
it's
a
really
show, there's an
believable.
episode idea one of these days. Get Dustin on to talk about the backlot brawl. I bet you he'd do that. So, real quick, I did want to play this one cut again. Tony Khan, the CEO, the head of AEW, talking about how the Stadium Stampede match was laid out.
We're all really proud of it. Everybody at AEW, we all took a hand in laying it out. It involves like a lot of people's ideas, and the fact that my dad and the Jaguars organization were kind enough to provide us access to TIAA Bank Stadium to make the Stadium Stampede a signature match of ours. We all put in ideas. We all sat down. The big spots in the match, like literally like, Chris, Matt and Nick, Kenny, Matt Hardy, myself, we all put multiple ideas and multiple big spots in the match, which like I hope it is a famous match that people talk about. And I think to us, it could be a signature match to us.
So, yeah, and that you got to love something like that. And that's something we've seen, you and I have seen backstage at AEW, the collaboration. You could feel it. So, again, fantastic job by everybody. One real quick note, Jon Moxley did retain the world title, defeating Brody Lee. He will defend the AEW world title at Fyter Fest, whenever that is, against the winner of the Casino ladder match, the Machine, Brian Cage. So, Brian Cage going for the title right out of the gate after his AEW debut. When we come back from this timeout, a longtime friend of the show will join us, Flip Gordon. He has just recently re-signed a new deal with Ring of Honor. We'll talk to him about that, Villain Enterprises, and anything else. Coming up next, you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn.
This is international superstar Flip Gordon, and you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. You know we love to talk to anybody from Ring of Honor, but especially when they get a new contract. And that includes one of our longest and dearest friends joining us on the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. He just signed a new deal to stay in Ring of Honor. He's been tearing it up as the mercenary now for Villain Enterprises. Follow him on Twitter at @TheFlipGordon. It is none other than my favorite Montana National Guard veteran, Flip Gordon. What's up, Flip?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's been a while. How are things? How's the family? How are you doing in
We're
this
doing good,
weird
man.
time?
I like that custom intro you had. How'd you get that?
What you mean? Your rejoin? You know, I play a little bit. You know, I'm a radio professional.
No, I meant the intro with the music and.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, it's little radio magic. Because I had to renew it because the last one I had your old theme song, which doesn't apply anymore. So had to get a little more Villain Enterprises with it. So I mean, I've had that liner. You recorded that liner for me. Oh, good Lord! It was probably back in the Wrestle Circus days.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Sounded like yesterday.
I know it does sound like yesterday. Well, you know, you and I, we've known each other for a little while. So how's the family? How's everybody doing?
They're doing good, man. Everybody's safe. Everybody's well. Nobody's sick, which is good.
Good. That's good to hear, man. I'm glad. Now, are you in Montana right now?
I am not. I am in Connecticut.
You're in Connecticut.
Yep, I've lived here for the last, I think, almost 2 years. Now.
Okay. All right. What's the favorite? What's your favorite thing about Connecticut?
Oh gosh, that's tough. Probably the nature out here. I really like the nature out here.
Really?
Yeah.
Is
it's
it
really expensive over here?
Yeah, I imagine.
But the nature over here is very beautiful.
Okay.
Lots of animals, lots of trails.
Huh. That sounds beautiful. Sounds wonderful. I've never been to the state of Connecticut. I've been to the Northeast plenty of times, but never to Connecticut.
Well,
so may have to make.
There's lots of trees, lots and lots of trees. I think that's why they put a tree on the Connecticut State Quarter.
That may be the reason. You may be right. So let's dive right into it. What prompted you to stay? What made you stay in Ring of Honor? What was the thing that said, this is my home, it's going to be my home for a while?
Well, I've got a lot of unfinished business in Ring of Honor. But on top of that, it was simple. The Mercenary went for the highest bidder, and Ring of Honor gave me an offer I just couldn't refuse.
That, like you said, very simple. What would you say? Because I remember when you signed your first deal. It was, and I know how proud you were about it. We were all very proud that you signed your first deal. What's the most surprising difference between Flip Gordon in 2016, 2017 and Flip Gordon in 2020? Not the biggest one, but just the one the difference you see that you didn't expect.
I'm smarter. In a sense that, like, I know what I need to do and what I don't need to do in the ring. Like, before, I would go out and try to get every single move I could do in the match. And now I know that I don't need to do that I can storytell and have better matches by storytelling than by busting out the coolest move.
Okay. So you don't have to subscribe to the whole get your stuff in every match, in other words.
No. I'm not like my tag partner Brian Cage. I don't need to get my shit in all the
time. Hey, by the way, what did you think of Brian Cage showing up in AEW?
I was very, very happy.
Yeah,
very happy.
Yeah.
Whenever you see one of your friends go do something and they're having fun and they're making a good living having fun, then you're going to be happy for them.
Absolutely. It's the way we feel about you, the way we feel about a bunch of guys.
Well, the Flippin' Machines are number one contenders for 2 world championships. I mean, the Flippin' Machines aren't doing too bad.
This is true. This is very true. You guys have done okay by yourselves. So, what's been the most fun thing about being with Villain Enterprises?
I think the funnest thing was just being able to do whatever I want, practically. As villains, you can go out there and do anything.
Yeah.
Especially when you're with Marty and PCO and Brody. I mean, who's going to tell you what you can't do?
This is true. This is true. Nobody's going to say no to. Definitely nobody's going to say no to PCO. Even me, and I think he and I are about the same age. So, you and Marty have always had such great chemistry, even long before the Villain Enterprises days. What's that one thing that when you two get together and it's gonna be magic, whether it's either in the ring or even just coexisting outside the ring?
Some chemistry you just can't teach. I think from the very first bit that me and Marty were in together, I think it was just magic. Because every bit we did after that, we just meshed so well. We bounced ideas off each other so well. And I think we just understand each other in a way that you can't teach. You just either know or you don't.
Right. So, I mean, and I remember, like, I one of my favorite videos, favorite video segments, I should say, Marty and Flip Take Japan, when you two were just doing the crazy hijinks when you were over with New Japan. Let me ask you this. With with re-signing with Ring of Honor, and with Ring of Honor, still the wonderful relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling, could you say there's unfinished business for you in Japan as well?
I would love to go back to Japan, but my main focus is Ring of Honor and becoming world champion. But like you said, me and Marty have amazing chemistry, and that's another reason why re-signing with Ring of Honor is so easy, because Marty and Flip equals money.
Marty and Flip equal money. That needs to be a T-shirt. You know that, right? Like say like your face plus sign Marty's face equals, and then the big
equals
money bag with
pound of money.
Well, the big money bag with the dollar sign stamped on it, like back in the 30s.
That'd be funny.
I think get that to Pro Wrestling Tees. I get a cut, or at least I get a T-shirt. Talk with Flip Gordon. You can follow him on Twitter at @TheFlipGordon. If I know you've also got this relationship with the NWA, and you've had your bouts in the NWA, most notably with Nick Aldis for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Do you see more? Do you want to go after their title as well, or maybe go after the tag titles with you and Marty?
Well, me and Marty were also supposed to have an opportunity at the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships that we didn't get in Vegas due to this whole COVID situation. But Marty has his opportunity at the NWA World Championship. So what better than for our Marty to become the NWA World Champion, myself to become the Ring of Honor World Champion. Maybe we add some tag team championships to the team. I think we can do anything. Who's going to stop us?
It would be very horseman-like for all four of you to be carrying gold around the Ring of Honor venues. So, what's been the positive that has come out of you guys? You're not doing shows right now. You're waiting for this whole pandemic thing. What's been the one big positive that comes out of this?
We're not burning storylines in front of no crowd. We have time to think and strategize and put so many different ideas together, and we get a brainstorm. Whereas a lot of other people, they're brainstorming, but they still have to put whatever they're brainstorming out week by week. We can sit back, almost relax, and write whatever we want, plan whatever we want for months and months and months in advance.
Right, yeah, I would think that. I mean, and I've got to imagine the downtime is also good just for your bodies. After touring as much as you guys do, gives you a chance to kind of refresh, rehab, kind of get revitalized, so that when those first shows do happen.
For most guys, this is the first off season they've ever had in their career, unless they got injured.
Right.
So absolutely, it's good for everybody that's getting to rest right now. But hopefully they're not resting too much, because we're going to be able to tell once we come back who was resting too much and who was still working their ass off.
That's true. That's very true. That kind of leads into another question, because there's been call forever and ever and ever, going back to when I was watching as a kid, that professional wrestling needs an off season. What say you?
I personally wouldn't want an off season just because I love wrestling so much. But I think it would be dependent on the league or dependent on the wrestler. But it would definitely help, but I also love wrestling. So it's a very difficult question for me to answer, I'd say.
Right. I get you. And I think there is the mentality. It's kind of the same thing in the NFL. And I've heard this from several, former football players where, if in wrestling's the same way. If you're not there, that means there's a spot for somebody else to take. And so I can understand that. Maybe there's a way to stagger it. I don't know. It's, again, this has been a debate that's been going on for decades. We're talking with Flip Gordon. Follow him on Twitter at @TheFlipGordon, part of the Villain Enterprises. So what's next for Villain Enterprises? Besides, you've got the world title shots. What else is next?
Well, if you've been following along with Villain Enterprises, we've teamed up with Lapel to bring exclusive Villain Enterprises merch to our fans. For more info, you can go check out Lapel Yeah on Instagram. But Ring of Honor, Villain Enterprises, everybody's coming out with brand new merch. We're coming out with new bits. We're going to try to get VETV up back and running because that was something that fans seem to really enjoy and really want more of.
Yeah, I think the VETV were always fun. I'm trying to remember. There was something with you and Steak that just had Marty all twisted in knots. Was it that you want steak well done?
Yes, I only eat steak well done.
Why?
I don't know, man. So I'm a very picky eater to begin with.
I mean,
I'm very texture oriented. So it's just something about the sliminess and the pink. I don't know. It's just too much for me.
Don't get me wrong. I don't eat rare, but I'll go a good, medium rare. I had a dear former colleague of mine who would order medium rare plus. So it'd be kind of like almost like it was pink throughout, but it wasn't red. So, but well done.
My girlfriend will eat it if it's still mooing.
Oh, hey, see, so at least you got it balanced out. The girl knows how to eat a steak because here in Texas,
my dog eats steak rare.
Well, yeah, of course, dogs are good like that. Here in Texas, we don't do too much on well done. Although I do know a few people, and we're trying to.
Everybody that I say it to always gives me a weird look. They're like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man."
Oh man, that makes me.
Hey, the more they argue with me, their tip goes down. So I just hope that
between that,
cook it how I want.
Between that and Milk First with your cereal, I
still do that.
Huh?
I still do that.
I know you do that. It just I shake my head sometimes. I shake my head. I mean, now correct me if I'm wrong. I think you and I talked about this a long time ago. You and I went through our respective basic training in the Army at the same place, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Yeah, Fort Lost in the Woods.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Before I let you go, one memory from that hellhole in the middle of Missouri.
The memory that pops into my head first is going on the 2 Mile Ruck and that big water buffalo out there in the field.
Yes.
As you run by.
Yes.
The red and white one.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah, that could have been the sweetest thing ever to see.
We'd have to do record PFTs out there at like 4:30 in the morning.
Uh-huh. I know those. Yeah, especially if you're in the middle of the summer and it's as hot as hell. I mean,
that's when I went. Full uniform. You'd walk outside the barracks.
Oh yeah.
You'd start drenched in a full uniform because of the humidity.
Yeah, it's different from here in Texas. It's totally different. So I get you.
Yeah, Montana has no humidity, and we're in the mountains. Subject to elevation.
That's true. That's true. He is Flip Gordon. Catch him on Ring of Honor Wrestling when they come back. Hopefully, they'll do one of these episodes where they focus on you. Have they done that yet? Because I don't think they have.
Not yet, but they've reached out to me.
Okay, good.
I mean, we have a huge roster, and I got a whole episode to myself already.
Okay,
like a little docu-series. So we're trying to share the TV time a little bit.
I understand it completely. Follow him on Twitter at @TheFlipGordon. Flip, congratulations on the new deal. All the best to you, my friend. Hopefully, you guys be back in Texas here soon. You and I can at least share a laugh together.
I hope so, man. We were supposed to be there first week in June. I've got a lot of friends down there in Texas, so we'll be back soon.
Always love catching up with the young Flip Gordon, such a fantastic talent. We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we may hit a couple other notes from AEW, plus notes from WWE, including he finally did it. Apollo Crews did me proud. Coming up next, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn.
Stand back! There's a hurricane coming through.
This is Shane Hurricane Helms, and you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. And if not, what's up with that?
Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Stu Myrick, Justin Smash Simmons. Couple other notes. MJF got the win over Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing.
Because he is better than all of us.
Quiet. Sean Spears got what was coming to him in the form of D-Dog himself. I was so happy to see that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that Dustin won, but I was just the way
Not to mention the full moon in Jacksonville.
Yeah, the way it happened, I wasn't expecting Tully to make an appearance where he made an appearance.
Yeah, that was a little creepy. I think probably the biggest surprise of the night was Hikaru Shida. You picked it, but I'll be honest, I was surprised. She is now the new Women's World Champion, defeating Nyla Rose.
I just had a feeling that it was due. I don't know why. Just like Shida's like legit.
She is legit. No, don't get me wrong.
But I was gonna say I
just thought it was soon. But
now that we've seen what Sean Spears had worn during that event, maybe we need to make some SGTW undergarments.
No.
Can you imagine your face?
No, stop. Just stop. Just
or
don't.
maybe we'll just use the logo.
No.
You talk too much.
No, just hell no. So anyway, again, all in all, fantastic event from AEW. Looking forward to it. Fyter Fest, we will find out the details. There was one comment on the post event scrum. Tony had mentioned that Fyter Fest was originally scheduled to be in London, England.
Oh, okay.
But because of the pandemic, that's not going to happen, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That would have made big waves of their international appeal because
our friends at What Culture were they were devastated.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
still trying to get Simon Miller on. He keeps turning off his notifications on his messages, but we're going to try a game. I promise. Simon Miller from What Culture will join us in the next few weeks. So, but yeah, it's just.
Now I feel like I have to be like, I got to issue an ultimatum. It's like, we need to have a match, Simon. If I win, we get 15 minutes of you on the mic. If I lose, we'll stop bothering you.
No, Simon wants to come on. He's been on before. He likes us. Well, and also they also mentioned All Out will be September 5th, I think. It's Labor Day weekend. They did not announce a location. I suspect they want to wait and see what happens. If they're going to do it in an arena, I would suspect it will go back to Sears Center Arena in Chicago, where last year's All Out as well as All In.
As long as it's open and they're accepting people.
Again, that's if they get to do it in an arena. So let's switch to WWE real quick. And I've been rooting for this guy ever since he showed up in NXT. I've been saying he needed his break. And I thought a couple weeks ago when he hurt his knee, that was it. But no. Apollo Crews finally did it.
Look what Andrade is targeting, the injured left knee of Apollo Crews.
Injured in a matchup against Andrade last month. Now going after the leg again. Oh, and a kick by Crews.
Crews has one good leg. Knew how to use it in that predicament. And look at again the incredible power.
Unbelievable strength. And now placing himself on the knee. Oh my God, follows up. What a combination. Apollo Crews has won the United States title.
Here's your winner. And the new United States champion, Apollo Crews.
Apollo Crews is the new United States champion. Congratulations, young man. The finisher right there was 2 standing moonsaults, by the way, and just looked as pretty as could be. I know. Couldn't be happier for him.
I know, but I'm afraid that he's just going to get the Zack Ryder treatment on this.
I hope. I hope not, but it's
it was like pandemic, getting time to shine, which is great, but it just came out of nowhere so sudden. Or it's going to be a Jinder Mahal thing where it's like, okay, you're champion, but you're champion for what? How long was Jinder champion? Like how many months?
It wasn't
4,
long.
5?
Yeah, it wasn't long.
And then it was just like, as soon as it was done, complete afterthought again. And I mean, that sucks because you can't hinder Jinder, right?
I know. And Apollo just, I think he's got the tools. Let's see what he can do with it.
I'm also concerned about Andrade, though. It's like, okay, so what do you do with him after this? Because it doesn't seem like he's going to be anywhere near the top title picture.
Well, and that's been the weird thing. Before we get that, did you hear what was happening in the background?
Oh, yeah, crowd people.
Yeah, the crowd.
Yeah.
So they used, it's been, 2 months since AEW's been doing it. But hey, finally WWE decided, hey, babe, might not be a bad idea. So NXT Performance Center wrestlers were the crowd, social distanced. They even did plexiglass around the ring,
which was a really nice touch.
It was nice. It felt like a hockey rink, but and I think it could make for some cool stuff in the future.
Oh, can you imagine like once you start playing stuff off of the glass, like once you start getting like LED things on the glass or something crazy like that?
I'm just saying like somebody gets sent through it or something.
Oh, well that too, but I'm just saying with WWE's production values and they're always, that's like the big thing that WWE probably doesn't get credit for. It's just that the reason why they're like the number one wrestling organization in the world, money wise, not just saying.
Well, they've been around for 60 years.
Yes, but ever since Vince McMahon Jr. or Vincent Kennedy McMahon,
right?
However you want to,
right?
Mr. McMahon, however you want to talk to him as his title. They've always Vinnie Mac. They've always invested in production.
Yes, they have.
That's how they always win. They have the best. Their product always looks the best.
The fans, so it was kind of neat to see them. I saw Shotzi Blackheart in the crowd. Good to see her. You can see that green hair anywhere. I heard that Dominik Dijakovic was in the crowd as well. Eric Buggs was there. It was good to see Buggs. So, but as we were talking about Andrade, so it seems like they had Zelina Vega with Andrade, Angel Garza, and Austin Theory as a little stable. Well, they didn't take long to break that thing up because, like you said, I don't know where Andrade goes from here. Austin Theory is now the newest disciple of Seth Rollins. So,
but it fits.
She's got Angel Garza, and that's about it.
It's like, but I like the way that works though, because it seems like Rollins is like Triple H again. Like this is his evolution because he has two young guys.
It is not nowhere near what Evolution was, but
not yet. He can still probably get one more guy, one big enforcer.
Yeah, but at the time Evolution was formed, you had Triple H, you had Ric Flair. And then Batista and Orton were the young guys who were the bright, shining stars. And I guess that could be where Murphy and
because
Theory,
you can't get any younger than Theory,
right? So,
and that guy does look like the next big thing.
I hope it happens. So,
but you have that collection, and then I love the fact that Raw right now has a really strong sense of Latino talent. Or Latina talent also with Vega because she does a great part in her role as well. But I mean, Andrade, Angel Garza, another fun match, and then you have Humberto, who's in with a top tier team featuring Rollins. So if you're in an event that's featuring a main event guy, then that's boding well for your stance on the mountain.
Speaking of Latino and Raw, did you see next week they are promoting a Rey Mysterio retirement ceremony?
Yes,
I got. It's going to be one of two things. This is Seth Rollins saying he's going to retire, and then Rey comes in and beats the snot out of him, or Rey Mysterio shows up with a salmon colored mask, kind of like the suit jacket of a certain other wrestler that came out to retire and then beat up John Cena.
Oh, I was just going to think that Dominic was going to come out.
Our good friend Mark Henry.
Yeah. But I was thinking that Dominic might come out and they're going to end up being a tag team and having to
We've
tag
done
team.
that already. Well, we didn't do the tag team. Dominic talked him out of it.
Yeah, but now he's been training that much longer.
Maybe.
It might be time for his WWE appearance.
Either way, I wouldn't count on Rey hanging up the boots just yet. There's a swerve coming. So, meanwhile on SmackDown, and I hate to say this, because I know SmackDown's been put on some decent shows, but it just, I don't know if it's because it's on Friday nights or what, but it just has felt like, I hate to say it, an afterthought. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, I mean, it always was. It's just like, it's always been the B show. It's always going to be the B show.
It's got its own roster. AJ Styles apparently got traded to SmackDown for wrestlers to be named later.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, though.
We don't know who those wrestlers will be.
You're taking the workhorse of Raw, who's been phenomenal, no pun intended, in any role that he's been put into. Yeah,
Goes back to SmackDown.
He's a strong guy to put on SmackDown.
He's in this tournament to crown a new Intercontinental Champion. Beat Nakamura. Albeit not exactly the classic that we saw a few years ago at Wrestle Kingdom, but that's okay. And Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's advancing.
Yeah, he's back.
He is back.
They're trying to push him. They know that they need mid-card talent on SmackDown.
On top of that, they had this segment. They had the dirt sheet with Miz and Morrison. Brought out Braun Strowman. Miz challenged Strowman to a match. Braun beat him. Morrison has then challenged him for the title. And they decided at Backlash on June 14th, Braun Strowman will defend the Universal title in the handicap match against Miz and Morrison.
Well, that's nice. We all know how that's going to pan out.
I was going to say, can you telegraph the ending any louder?
For real. Although it would be entertaining to see a co-championship run a la Lay Cool with Miz and Morrison. I think that would be just that evolution of that idea, but way funnier.
It would be hilarious. Yes, it would be much more hilarious. That's for sure. And Lay Cool did a fantastic job as co-women's champions. But yeah, Miz and Morrison splitting the Universal belt.
I'd be down with it.
It'd be funny to watch. Sure.
What did you think about the segments on Raw featuring the Vikings
playing golf?
Yeah. Was that was actually funny?
It was. Right? No, it's they've all been funny. It's first of all, I can almost guarantee that Eric or Ray Rowe has never owned a golf club.
You think so?
Now
I have to ask him.
I would put money on it.
Now I want to ask him if he's ever owned one in his life.
I'm pretty sure
for the purpose of playing
Hansen
golf.
Hasn't either.
You think so? I really wish we can get these guys on so we could ask them.
I do have a way of messaging Eric. I may have to just say, hey, do you own any golf clubs?
Like, legitimately, I really want to know this.
I mean,
did you own any before this segment?
They made me look like Tiger Woods, okay? And my drive is horrible.
Let me wait. Which Tiger Woods?
Does it matter?
Yes.
No.
You don't want to be the Tiger Woods after the divorce with the back injuries and couldn't walk.
Well, it's still better than
I guess most people, yes. Yes. But I would rather be the Tiger Woods that was, just knocking down majors.
Of course.
At the prime of his game.
Yeah, so. By the way, did you see the match too?
No.
I did. It was good. It was fun.
It's like, man, I'm bored, but I'm not that bored, y'all.
Some of the trash talk between Brady and Charles Barkley and several others. It was pretty funny. Peyton Manning, just hilarious as could be.
I mean, am I the only person that doesn't like Peyton Manning?
I don't know.
I think I am. One of the few.
Most of Tennessee's rivals back in the SEC days, maybe.
But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as an on-air personality. I don't find him
funny.
Yeah, I don't find him funny.
Well, you're just weird.
No, I just don't find him funny.
Anyway, it was fun. It was good stuff. I enjoyed the stuff with the Viking Raiders and Street Profits. Although it probably would be nice to see them in a wrestling match again soon. Real quick, we got to finish this break. We got to get to break, but real quick, Orton and Edge. Is it a mistake that they're touting this? Could this be the greatest wrestling match ever?
Why not? I've already heard
because nobody will take it seriously.
It's okay. Nobody's taking it seriously now.
I guess. It just, I don't know.
The feud had already been over.
It's like, it should have ended.
I don't mind listening to Edge talk. I like seeing him back in the ring.
I'm good. It's just calling it that. I'm trying to figure out what are they trying to accomplish with it.
Well, now
it's not even the greatest match of 2020.
Well, we don't know that yet.
No, I'm pretty sure we do.
No, but I mean, we don't know what they're capable of or what risks that they might be willing to take. You would think it's not much considering where both men are in their careers, but you just never
Especially
ever know.
Edge coming back after 9 years.
Yeah, and I know he doesn't want to get hurt, but he might take a risk that
That doesn't mean it's going to be the greatest wrestling match ever. It's not going to be the greatest WWE match ever. It's not going to be the greatest WWE match of 2020.
Well, if you don't bill it as something, then there's no reason to watch, right? So you got to bill it as something.
You could have done something other than trying.
What
to
did Ricky Starks bill his match against the Broom?
That's a little different.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. You
I
have
think
to
that
bill it
was-
as something. If he didn't bill it as that, would I have watched?
That was purposely absurd. This isn't supposed to be purposely absurd.
We don't know that.
Right. We're going to take a quick time out. Got a few other nuggets, including some people re-signing with different companies. We'll get to that next. You're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn.
This is Dirty Andy Dalton, and you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Blah!
Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Stu Myrick, Justin the Smash Simmons, wrapping up this week's show. We've got a few people that decided to sign contracts. We'll start in WWE. Remember last week we were talking about Drew Gulak became a free agent because his contract expired?
Yeah.
Well, he's re-signed. Apparently, according to Sean Ross Sapp, our friends at Fightful, he has apparently re-signed with WWE. He is supposed to be in a battle royal this Friday night on SmackDown. So, congratulations, Drew Gulak. Hopefully, he got the raise he was hoping for.
Yeah, they stopped referring to him as Bryant's training partner and
Right.
actually start using his name again.
Right. So anyway, good on him. Alex Hammerstone renews his contract with Major League Wrestling. Of course, he is the current MLW Openweight champion and one half now of the dynasty with Richard Holiday. I've always liked Hammerstone. He's got that just chiseled and grizzled look.
Oh, but he's definitely put in the work to get where he's at. Because a few years ago, I seen it on his social media. He's just like, I wasn't going anywhere, and then he started putting in the work, and now he's where he's at now. So I'm glad to see that he's getting rewarded for that effort. And he seems like one of those guys that kind of just seems he's going to keep on putting in that work, and hopefully he'll get another break.
I think he is. I met him a few times when he was wrestling for Lions Pride Sports and our good friend Houston Carson, and he's a really good dude. I mean, seems to be very, very motivated, very driven. So wishing all the best to Alexander Hammerstone. Be interesting. Want to see who he's going to put that title up against. There's a lot of good contenders there in MLW. And then on Impact Wrestling Tuesday night, during the show, they played a snippet. Former NXT wrestler, former Ring of Honor wrestler, Deonna Purrazzo, the Virtuosa, is joining Impact Wrestling.
Oh, really?
I gotta admit, that was a little bit of a surprise. I don't know why, but I felt like she was going to go back to Ring of Honor. But Impact Wrestling got her, so hey,
well, who has
good on her.
who has a better women's division right now?
That's the thing. And you're right. I think right now, actually, Impact does have the better.
That's where I was.
They've got Havoc. They've got Kimberly. By the way, congratulations to her and Zachary Wentz getting married over the weekend. Saw a couple of pictures from that. Such a cute couple. But yeah, they've got of course, Jordan Grace, the current Knockouts champion. Taya Valkyrie, I guess, is still with Impact. I could swear I saw something where her contract was over and she was going to head to NXT to be with John Morrison. But yeah, a really good women's roster with Impact Wrestling. So yeah, why not? Let's see what she can do with Impact. By the way, they're down to their finals in the #1 contenders tournament for the Impact World title. Surprisingly, Trey Miguel, Rico Trey as I like to call him, beating Michael Elgin just out of the blue.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Yeah, and Ace Austin, who was the sub-in for Ken Shamrock, he beat Rhino. So, in the finals, it will be Trey versus Ace Austin. The winner becomes the #1 contender to Tessa Blanchard in the Impact World title.
I keep on forgetting that she's holding on to the title right now.
She still has the title.
So we talk about the women's division, and it's like, oh, we completely forgot about her.
That, there's a woman that is holding the top title.
Yeah, she just happens to hold the main title.
The main title.
So I was like, maybe she's thinking, and I don't see why not. Like, she could go against Tessa. That would be a great match to see.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be really good. So also Moose is doing all sorts of fun stuff. He's got the old TNA world title belt, calling himself the TNA world champion, trying to talk the guys in the treehouse into challenging him for that belt, which apparently isn't sanctioned right now, but hey, it's something for Moose to play with.
I mean, there's a lot of pop for nostalgia almost in everything right now, so it's nice that they're having some success with the TNA run here.
Going back to Brian Cage, what'd you think of Taz as his coach?
I'm not sure how that's going to work out just yet, just because I never really saw him as like a suplex-style wrestler. He's more of this guy that is a big dude that can fly around, surprisingly.
Yeah, Brian Cage.
Yeah. The one thing I will say, though, is by signing him, they do get what they have been needing when they first started, was some much-needed size.
Yeah.
With their roster, just because everybody's basically a cruiserweight for the most part.
So they
nothing
got
wrong with that.
Right, but they do need a little bit of difference. Something to differentiate. That'll do it for this week's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. You can follow Justin the Smash Simmons on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at The Smash Simmons. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK. You can follow the station on Twitter at The Horn ATX. You can follow the show on Twitter at SGTWATX. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. We are proud to be the official broadcast partner of the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, and we're proud to be part of the great lineup you hear every day. On the flagship station for the Texas Longhorns, we are The Horn. Catch us Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Central on The Horn, or catch us anytime on demand by going to hornfm.com and click on the On Air tab, or by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast provider. For Justin, I'm Stu. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time tonight. Hopefully soon we will see you at the matches.
Goodbye and good. Mwah.